For over 8,000 years, the Wildlings have resided north of the Wall. Labelled as savages and barbarians by those in the Seven Kingdoms, the Free Folk live a largely primitive lifestyle, free of the customs and traditions of the lands south of the Wall. Made up of many tribes and clans, the Wildlings suffer the cold and harsh conditions of the north. While less technologically advanced than their neighbours on the other side of the Wall, they are content, seeing themselves as free, not required to kneel to an imposed ruler of one of the many houses of Westeros. However, a new danger arises in the north, one that was long believed to be myth. The White Walkers have returned, and this threat could wipe out the Free Folk. In light of this threat, the various Wildling clans who once warred against each other have been united under the King beyond the Wall. Mance Rayder, chosen by the Free Folk to lead them, has brought the Thenns, the Hornfoots, the Ice River clans, and the other Wildling tribes together in the hope that he might save his people from the White Walkers. In order to survive, he knows he must lead the Free Folk south of the Wall. There are many challenges that lie in wait for Mance and the Wildling caravan if they are to succeed in this task. In reality, the Union of Tribes is a loose confederation of clans, burdened by ancient feuds and with little discipline. It would not take much provocation for these tribes to turn on each other should the campaign falter. Food is in short supply, and people are being lost to starvation, the cold, and disease. The White Walkers, led by the Night King, could arrive imminently, and thus the Wildlings are in a race against time to get to safety. As it has been for many years, the Wall is staunchly defended by the Night's Watch, who are tasked with defending the Seven Kingdoms. However, after years of neglect, the Night's Watch no longer has the resources it once did. Of the 19 castles along the Wall, only 3 remain manned by the Watch, due to their dwindling numbers. If the Wildlings are ever going to make it south of the Wall, the time is now. Hello everyone, it's Hoplite Mike, I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm starting a Wildlings campaign for the Game of Thrones submod for Westeros Total War. The latest update for this mod was on the 20th of July, which is only about 7 or 8 days ago now, and the developer does consider this update to be the final update for this mod. So what you're seeing here is essentially the finished product. I'm going to be playing on very hard with the following options selected, so without further ado, let's jump into this campaign. I did turn off the music there at the start just to avoid copyright, but I'll turn it back on once we're into the campaign map. So here we get the initial notification of Ned Stark's beheading. If you remember in the show, Ned Stark gets beheaded at the end of season 1, and that's what triggers the conflict between the Great Houses. So that's the start of the campaign. And we've also got the notification for the Wildlings. So we are the Proud Free Folk, and our victory objectives are to hold 15 regions and protect our people from the White Walkers and ultimately destroy them for good. So as you can see, we actually start with a good number of regions. We've got about 7 or 8, so it's not a huge challenge to get to the required 15 to meet our victory objectives. I'm just going to turn the sound back on. In terms of how the Wildlings play, we are considered to be uncivilized, so if you go to the building browser, you can see for a lot of the building chains we're only allowed to build, or we've only got access to 1 building, because we don't have the technology to build any further than that, which means it's going to be difficult to generate a lot of income from building up settlements. In order to ramp up our income, we basically need to conquer as many settlements as possible. In terms of military, we are the Wildlings and most of the Wildlings fight, but we're not we're not like one of the houses of Westeros that has a professional standing army. So, you know, we have a lot of sort of cheap units, but they're quite low powered, and our sort of way of winning is to outnumber our opponent. There's also a kind of regional recruitment system. So, for example, if you go to Magnar's Hold, which is the Then region, we can recruit the Then unit. So you've got the Then Spearmen and the Then Axemen. If you go to the Mountain's Heart, we can get the Cave Dwellers. If we go to Bones Beach, we can get the Hornfoots. If we go to Helmand's Harbour, we can get the Men of the Frozen Shore. But essentially, different regions gives us access to different troops from the Tier 1 barracks. There is a Tier 3 military building which gives us access to all of the Wildling units regardless of where we are, but that's a Tier 3 building, so it takes us a while to get there. It's also worth noting that we can't actually recruit any Wildling units south of the wall apart from one settlement here and another settlement on this island. So once we get south of the wall, it will get a bit more tricky. Other things to note is that there are no roads north of the wall, so transporting troops can take a while, and the Wildlings can't build roads, so again that's not something that we can resolve, but it basically means we want to use the settlements at the wall once we capture them as our sort of military centres. The White Walkers reside in a settlement right in the corner here. They're usually pretty passive in the early game, but they can get aggressive around sort of turn 50, so that's something that we need to keep an eye on. And yeah, I mean, I think that's most of the things to note at the start of the game. In terms of economics, as I was saying before, there's not really much we can build to generate income, but there is one building that's better than the others in the sparse hunting community. If we go to the settlement details, we can see that adding this gives us a good 50 gold, less the small increase in corruption. So I'm just going to build that in all the places that I can. Okay, that's just down to 1200, so we spent a lot of gold, but I think that's well invested. In terms of forces, we actually have quite a lot. So Mance Raider, King Beyond the Wall, has by far the biggest army. We're going to send Mance straight to Castle Black. Now, as you can see, the fact that there's no roads up here does mean getting around takes a few turns, but that's sort of realistic. It's in keeping with how things actually were in the show. We've got Tormund, who you might recognise from the show. I'm going to send him down to the Shadow Tower. We've got the Thens in the north here, which are some of our better troops. The Thens actually probably are our best troops that we can get at the start of the game, so it's unfortunate that they are the furthest north settlement because they take the longest to get to the wall, but that's just how that is. So I'm going to recruit one unit of non-Thens just so we can move all of the units out, and we're going to send them to the Shadow Tower as well. Going back to our listings here. So Sigurd is the Then General, so we're going to send him along with the Thens. And we've got Lord of Bones, you might recognise from the show as well. I'm going to send him over to Eastwatch by the Sea. Great Walrus, so he's over in Helmand's Harbour. Going to bring those units over here. You got Ygritte again, might recognise her from the show. She was Jon Snow's partner. Then you got Orell, who was the warg from the show. I'm going to take him down to the Shadow Tower. Parma as well. She appears in the episode Hardhome. I've got a few more generals here. The Cave Dwellers are really weak units that you can get, but they basically need all the numbers we can get. So Yeah, so over here what I want to do is I'm going to bring some of the units over, but I want to establish a perimeter of watchtowers around the White Walkers. So what I'm going to do is send this general up, and then we can start building those watchtowers once he's there. Okay, so we've moved all our troops, invested into the economy, so I'm going to pass the turn there. There is actually, I mean, there's more than one Game of Thrones mod for Medieval 2. This is the one that is most closely aligned to the show. This is sort of completely designed to be about the show. There's another one called Fire and Blood, which is, it's got a lot of content in it. A lot of the assets from this mod are actually from Fire and Blood, but it's more book based, I think. Anyway, so this is just a notification to say the best building to get is the Hunters Community, which we've already built in most of the places, so we don't need to worry about that. Then we just got our recruitment. So everyone's already on the sort of paths. So I'm just going to pass turn again. We are going to go into the negative reserves, which is okay. It's because we have so many units at the start of the game. Yeah, I think a lot of the assets in this mod come from Fire and Blood, so they've got the creator of that mod to thank, as well as this one. And yeah, there are notifications in this mod for when significant characters die, so right now I've got Gregor Clegane, has just passed away. And there's a notification about the Horn of Joramun. Okay. So, whereabouts is Mance? Okay, so we're nearly there. I need to bring where is farmers there? I want to join up Egrets with Mance, and yeah, I'm not going to start attacking yet. You actually, sometimes the Night's Watch do send out forces sort of just north of the wall, and you end up getting ambushed. So I want to avoid that if I can. Okay, basically, yeah, so there's 3 settlements at the wall. They all have the same battle map, which is basically, it's just the wall with a gate in it, so you have to knock down the gate with a ram, and then you've got to attack through this kind of choke point. I found the best way to approach it is basically to take ranged units and just sort of shoot through the tunnel, which makes for a bit of a boring battle, but I don't really know any other way to deal with it, because your units are much weaker than the Night's Watch. Alright, so Richard Karstark is dead. Right, so I think we can start attacking. I'm thinking if I move units around here, I'll probably get ambushed. Let's first attack the Shadow Tower. So yeah, these ladders do nothing basically, so there's no point. I'll just get another ram just in case we somehow lose the first one, but it should be fine. I don't have that many units over here. Let's grab these 2. Okay, we didn't get ambushed. I thought we might do, but we did not. So we're going to take Mance, and may as well take an extra unit of spears. Ah, that was a mistake. But next time we'll lay siege. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we can do. But yeah, it's interesting the way that Game of Thrones works in a total war game, because I think you end up with these big factions that take up huge swathes of the map, and the way that Westeros is shaped means that it's just like it's kind of like a tower of different factions all in a row. So there's no, you're not really surrounded on all sides. You just have somebody south and somebody north of you. Okay, so you can lay siege to Castle Black. And we can join up Harmer and the Lord of Bones. I wonder where the Therns are. Yeah, they're still coming. That's the problem with the Therns being recruited so far away. You can actually get giants and mammoths, but they're quite expensive. And they take a long time to get to the wall. Timing takes a little while in this mod. Although having said that, it's not as bad as some others. Valmorgulis, Walder Rivers, so one of House Frey, and Janos Slint, who in the show I think goes on to join the Night's Watch. Anyway, right, so we've got our sieges set up. So without further ado, let's attack Castle Black. So we're against Lord Commander Jorah Mormont. We've got about 3 times the troops that he does, but it's still saying the balance of power is roughly even, which gives you an idea of how weak the Wildlings are. But let's jump into this one. Right, so it is quite bright, but yeah, it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, I could maybe turn the brightness down. Right, so the way I usually find works in this settlement is we'll get our range guys here, and we'll basically sit them here. Once we've broken down the gate, we'll sit them here and let them fire through the wall. But if you want to see Castle Black, this is what it looks like. So it is slightly different to how it looks in the show, but you've got the stairs there, you've got the lift, so it's quite a cool location. Then of course you've got the wall. There are actually units on top of the wall, the missile units. Anyway, we're gonna let the ram do its damage. Okay, so that is the gate down. So we're just gonna grab these archers, just park them here, and let them do their damage. And then we can keep track of how we're doing here. There are also models for the notable characters from the show. So that's Mance there. And then Egret has a missile bodyguard, which is in keeping with her preference for a bow. Anyway. So I know this makes for a slightly boring battle, but the problem is that the Wildling units just aren't as strong as the Night's Watch unit. So if you just send everybody through, you just basically lose a kind of drawn out fight. Alright, they're nearly out of ammunition, so I'm going to bring up the other unit. I know we are slightly taking advantage of the AI here, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Now you can see one unit of Wildling Hunters took out nearly a third of the Night's Watch army. Alright, I don't seem to be doing that much anymore. If you get too close to the gate, sometimes you'll get charged. Like that. Yeah, they're chasing us now. Right, routed. So we get the archers back into position. We lost 7 men there. That's not terrible. So as we've taken out so many of them now, we probably could just barrel through. But it doesn't hurt to be efficient. Okay. So the archers have basically used all their ammunition there. Let's send a couple of javeliners through. I need to get the spearmen ready to go behind them as well. So usually the unit that's on the wall comes down, and I'm guessing they still have units around. These are the... So I guess this is your Mormont. There it is. That's your Mormont. And here are the Wildlings. Oh, I didn't realise there was artillery. Yeah, we lost a few men to the artillery there, but that's okay. We're about to time them out. Ugh. I think that's your Mormont still fighting. These generals take a lot to go down. Right, nice and dead. So let's go after these ranged units. You can stay in the square. And we've won the battle. So, yeah, there's no point in playing on because we'll just lose more units. But we lost 300 men there. Could have been a bit more efficient once we got through the wall. But, yeah, that's fine. So, King Beyond the Wall takes Castle Black, and the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch has perished. Right, so there's Jon Snow, who was just outside of Castle Black. We'll need to deal with him shortly. Retrain some units here, and we can also attack the Shadow Tower. So Dennis Mallister was one of the Night's Watch who went for the leader position when Jon Snow was going for it. But that's enough. In terms of our units... Okay, we've got 2 hunters, so that should be fine. So let's fight this one. So let's try and get a clear day. That's the one. Right, so as you can see, it's the same map. And we'll use a similar tactic. But yeah, we've got Tormund, so he's got a model as well. There he is. There's Tormund. as you can see, they've got the unit top of the wall. Alright, so the gate's down. Let's move them out of the way. Grab our archers. Alright, so we're doing pretty well here. 15% enemies killed. And that's less than half of the ammunition. Already up to 30%. Alright, I'm going to need to move them a bit further in. Come on guys, start firing. Alright, we're going to leave some men here. Right, they've expended their ammo. Let's get the next guys in here. I think their arrows are being blocked. Alright, I'm just gonna go through. So they're down 40% of the men. It's still pretty risky to go through, to be fair. But I think that's fine. We'll get Tormund behind them. And Othel, sorry. I don't really care if Othel dies, but I do want to keep Tormund alive. Alright, that's the builders. Who are the... Oh no, they've got the... Yeah, they do have bodyguards. And they've got some fit rangers. That's not good news. Let's see if Otho can deal with the Night's Watch stewards. Yeah, I think we're actually losing this. So I'm going to need to bring in Tormund to save the day. I don't know if they can fight over the heads. Let's see if we can flank. Is that ours or theirs? Enemy General, Dennis Master. There's no more. Okay, we've got them surrounded. Know what's going on here. Alright, we're getting the countdown already. Alright, yeah, I think we've got them. Yeah, we got them. 10 seconds left, unless the crossbow guys make a mad dash for the square. So we lost about half our men, which is fine. If we go 1 for 1, we take a settlement, and we have weaker troops, I'm fine with that. Okay, so Tormund takes the Shadow Tower and get some trait increases. Okay, so that just leaves Eastwatch by the sea, which we laid siege to this turn, so we can't do anything there just now. Let's get our hunting communities set up. That's never a bad investment. I think Castle Black is... it's under siege from the other side, actually. So the Night's Watch must have had units north of the wall, which then didn't get close enough to help them in the battle. King of the Isles declare. Okay, the Greyjoys of Iron Islands have broken their fealty with the Iron Throne and declared their own king. Alright, so that's Balon Greyjoy. And we get the notification that Sandor Clegane is dead, as well as Jean Mormont, who we killed at the Battle of Castle Black. So the... oh, okay, so the army that is attacking us is it's led by Corin Halfhand, has Lord Commander Alistair as well. So, yeah, that could be a tricky battle. There's Jon Snow. Anyway, I think what we want to do here... we have a lot of men. The Castle Black is not actually an easy settlement to defend, despite what it looks like in the show. I'm just thinking if I can try and get some support. Thens are close by-ish. Not that close. Anyway, I think we should take Eastwatch by the sea, unless we take this force. and head off Corrin's force. Because this is a big army, like that's going to be difficult to deal with. Now let's just take Eastwatch. So again, we've vastly outnumbered them, but advanced power is about even. So we're going to fight it. Nice clear day. Yeah, again, I think you know the script by now. Is they have the unit on top of the wall. Yep. Yeah, we've got a lot more units for this battle, so it shouldn't be that close, unlike the last one. All right, that's the gate down. Let's get our guys into position. Wondering if there's a model for the Lord of Burns actually. This is I've not checked Lord of Burns. Oh, he actually does. He's got a skull, I think. That's quite cool. Yeah, it'd be good to try and take these 3 settlements in this episode. Still a little concerned about the army that's sieging Castle Black. Well, we might be able to try and sandwich them if they don't attack next turn. Hopefully they just continue the siege. But I think given that they have a half stack, the balance of power would be massively in their favour, so the AI will probably opt to attack. Oh, damn it. So we're taking out 31%, which is fairly consistent with the other battles as well. Okay, so we're up to 50%. And then we can see anyone else through the gap, so it's time to send in the melee units. Let's just get them into lines first. Right, I'm going to send these guys in. I'll send them in with Lord of Bones because I'm not concerned about losing Lord of Bones. But yeah, usually the general sticks in here. Alright, they've just basically let themselves get flanked. Let's go for the crossbows. Don't want to let them just fire on us. No, we've already... No, we've won. Okay, so we just parked the square and then just, cheesed it out. Okay. Last night's one, man. That was yeah, that wasn't great, but yeah. I think we were gonna win that anyway, but we would have just lost a lot more units than we ended up. And for some reason, is this under siege? Can't tell. It looked like it was under siege before. Anyway, so we want to be building up these hunting communities, and I want to obviously establish these places as our recruitment center, given that we can't really move troops around north of the wall very quickly. Anyway, I'm going to recruit some units. And I'll enter on there. Hopefully that Night's Watch force doesn't attack us. But I think the Night's Watch now... Oh, yeah, sorry, that's what happened. So once I took that settlement, the Night's Watch was destroyed as a faction. And their forces now are rebels. Which means that must have lifted the siege automatically. Yeah, you never really see rebels attacking settlements. There's Roderick's died. So I still need to deal with this force, but it's not as pressing. Yeah, so we've got a pretty strong bunch of units there which we can use to try and take out Hookcore and Halfhand. But yeah, anyway, I want to make sure we've got the right buildings in place. But okay, so that's just taking all of the settlements along the wall. That's not too bad for a first episode. There's Jon Snow that we need to take out as well. Can we get any giants? No. So after this, we need to decide what we want to do when we go south. So we can either go for the Starks or the Boltons. I think at this stage they are still allied. It's not gotten to the point where they've turned on each other. And I don't really want to wait for that to happen, so... let's get our first watchtower so we can keep an eye on the White Walkers. just there. Okay. We've got quite a bit of money now, so may as well build up these settlements here. Okay. So I think that's pretty good for a first episode. We've got the 3 settlements here. We destroyed the Night's Watch, and we now can go south, but we need to deal with some of the lingering forces. But yeah, thanks for watching episode 1, and I'll see you on the next one.